Hey y'all, this is the Christian Trucker. This is my story, episode 10. We're going to jump ahead a few years and talk about a very important event in our life. When my brother turned 40, it wasn't very long after he turned 40, as a matter of fact, he shot himself. Now there's a lot of different reasons why he did this, but the fact of the matter is that he did it. And it's the worst thing that me and my family have ever went through in our entire lives, and we wish this kind of pain on no one. It's been around 6 years, and it feels like it just happened yesterday. The anniversary is going to be coming around before long, and that makes it even harder. Now, my brother, in my eyes, was a great dude. And to a lot of other people, he was a great guy. He was a sheriff's deputy for 14 years. Started out running the beat, ended up being an investigator, and then ended up getting back on the beat. He wrecked a cop car. Doing pretty quick. He was lucky to make it out of that one. He served 22 years in the military. National Guard. He spent 2 tours of duty in Iraq. And yeah, they had an effect. But I think a lot of his trauma really occurred on the home front, because his choice in female companionship was never the best. Whenever he went off to basic training, he was getting married to the woman that he thought he loved with everything in his being, and I believe he died still loving her. But they got married, and at a point in the marriage, he came home and caught her with another man. No, he didn't shoot her or anything like that, which amazed most of the people that knew my brother. The marriage was dissolved. For a while, but I think they still stayed together a lot without everybody knowing, because that's just the type of folks they were. They had an understanding, and people grow to those types of understanding in their relationships, I reckon. So on down the road, she got pregnant, and let's just say he's got 2 beautiful girls, okay? When they finally got their divorce, he moved on, and he swore he would never, ever, ever get married again. Never, ever, ever. He was happy doing what he was doing, and that was all it was to it. But one day he met this one girl, and he fell head over heels. And he thought she was the one. I mean, she had brought him out of a funk to where he had never said he would never get married, and he had actually told my dad that he was planning on getting married, and not only that, having more kids. But this particular girl couldn't keep up her end of the bargain. He was shipped out to Iraq on his first tour of duty, and while he was gone, I got married, and this particular girl didn't want to be no part of it, and we thought that was strange, because when he left, they were all about it. And anyway, we had my brother mentioned honorably in the wedding as a best man, but turns out this girl started cheating on him not long after he left with another National Guardsman. And he wasn't even more fit or more handsome or anything like that. He was just a dude. Just like a dude. I mean, Not even a good-looking dude, just a dude. And it really pissed me off. Because I thought she was better than that, which my wife saw right through her. I should have listened to my wife, which we wasn't married at the time, and I thought I knew everything. But, you know, sometimes women see things that men don't. So she cheated on my brother, and this tore my brother apart more than most people know. My brother, when he came home, I picked him up at the airport. Well, that was not a good thing. That was one of the longest rides of my life, going to the Jackson Airport to pick up my brother from his first tour of duty. Now keep in mind, on his first tour of duty, I mean, he was the man's man. He was teaching the Iraqi police. He was sending home letters trying to get, you know, flashlights and other things sent to them so they could help outfit the Iraqi police. I mean, he was all about it. I mean, they were kicking in doors, they were kicking butt and taking names. I was really proud of the work he did over there. And when he came back, and she wasn't there to pick him up off that plane, y'all, he lost it. He lost it. He didn't say 2 words the whole way home. When we got home, he just asked me to leave, so I left. And when I ended up coming back, she had him so amped up and so good about himself that he had took and framed all of his awards and his training and everything, and he had them all on the wall for a display, and I thought that was great. Well, like I said, he lost it whenever he got in the house by himself. He broke everything. He just tore up all kind of stuff. And I got back over there a day or two later. He just left. He left for a little while. Didn't really communicate much, but I went in the house, cleaned up the mess, and did the best I could for him. And we piled up all of his documents and rewards and certificates, tried to salvage what we could. But that's the most upset you ever want to see a man. But he held in there. He held in there. He did. Now, a little while later, he started seeing another girl. And I never would have thought that this relationship would have matched up, but it did. They were all but married. They were together a long time. Well, she had a son, and it was my brother's stepson without them being married. I mean, he tried to teach the boy as much as he could, but the little boy was killed in an auto wreck with his grandfather. And it was a horrible ordeal for them all to go through. And it ended up driving a wedge between my brother and this woman. And they split up. She still talked to him on occasion, but that still, you know, it crushed him. And he tried everything he could to get her back, y'all. I mean, it was sad. It was sad. And that's not the way I like to look at my brother as a sad case, but that was a sad case. He got deployed once more, and this tour of duty wasn't like the last one, because instead of kicking indoors and training Iraqi police, he was on convoy detail. Most of the time he was out there. Well, convoy detail was a little bit different. You got a lot of waiting and very little action. And they did lose some guys on their first tour of duty, but I don't think they ended up losing anybody on his second. There's a lot of story there that, you know, I could tell, but out of respect for the guys and his unit, and I will not. So his second tour of duty, he was in an MRAP, and he was in convoys all the time, and he really did not enjoy his second tour of duty, from what I understand. it was not his thing. And, you know, it amazed me. His first tour of duty, he come back, yeah, he did lost his girl, but he was mentally pretty well sound. But after that second tour of duty, something had changed in my brother. And everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. And a lot of people tried to deny it and ignore it. But no, it was there. It was definitely there. He had changed. And we don't understand what exactly happened over there, because honestly, he did not speak a lot about his second tour of duty. He just claimed there wasn't a whole lot to speak of while he was over there. So you have to take that for what it is and the truth that come out of his mouth. He come back and everything seemed fairly normal. I mean, he had the girls all the time and we were all visiting and everything, and it went on pretty normally for a long time. And him and my wife, they grew to have a great relationship. He and her were like real brother and real sister. They went everywhere together. We tried to make weekly trips. See, I live an hour and a half. Whenever I got married, I moved an hour away from my home because I had so many bad influences back there. I had to get away from the county and move to a better place. But my wife and my brother, they really got to be really, really close. And I loved it. I mean, me and him, we disagreed all the time. I mean, seemed like a constant fight between me and him, but he showed my wife the love of a real sister. You know, he treated her the best. Well, he started having some issues, some emotional issues, ups and downs, big time ups and downs. So he talked to my wife, and we talked him into going to the VA for some assistance. Well, he went to the VA all right. Yeah, he went to the VA. They loaded him up with medication and sent him home. Now, they should have done more for him. There's a lot of reasons why he done what he done, but one of them is definitely the VA loaded him up with medications, strong medications, told him things that were not good for him to hear, and sent him home. Well, we had noticed the week before that he had started, texting and misspelling his words and stuff in his text messages. And we talked to him about it, and he said, oh, it's fine. Anyway, within 2 weeks of him going to the VA, he shot himself in his swing in front of his home. We made it up there that evening just to watch the fire department clean up. I've only been in the house one time since then. And if it would have been me, I would have bulldozed everything. But it wasn't me. His ex-wife took control, and that was that. So, moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're having any kind of issues with your moods, especially if you're in the military, y'all please seek outside help. Please do not put your faith into the VA. Seek outside help. Most of all, open your Bible and pray and let the Lord help you. But also go to the psychiatrist that can really help. Don't put your faith into the VA and the government system, because they failed my brother. And if they failed one, they failed many. God bless you all. See you on the next ride.